Good morning, Bobcats. Today is Monday, January 9th, 2023, and I thought I'd come to you today with some updates. You can see on my trusty whiteboard, even with all the wonderful technology options we have here at Green, I still go back to my trusty whiteboard and ruler that I saved from my kindergarten classroom. But the things I'm going to go over today are the introduction, which is what I'm doing now. And I'm going to do this a little bit differently so that if you're watching and maybe not everything applies to you and you just like to scroll through for something specific, I'm going to do this introduction separately, and then I'll do a separate attachment for delays and early dismissals, transportation, ticket discounts, and then the remind text updates that go out with that free text messaging service for schedule updates and things like that. But as I go through, I'm going to move my little mascot magnet down, and so you can scroll through the video if you'd like to and just go to wherever you see that landing. And then if there's any specific notes that apply to one of these items as I go through, I'll put them over here on this section. So hopefully we can segment this out a little bit better and have it make sense to you. So I'm going to stop this part of the video right now and move on down to early dismissals and delays. Thanks. Okay, Bobcats, I'm back with our next segment of today's fireside chat, and that is delays and early dismissals. You can see that I've moved our mascot down and I've added some notes over here about this section. I really wanted to address this because, of course, we are in winter, and so we know weather-related delays and early dismissals become much more likely this time of the year. And I also know that schools get compared to one another. And what I want to avoid is any confusion about how Green is going to handle morning delays and afternoon early dismissals, because typically everyone around us does a pretty standard 2-hour delay or a 2-hour early dismissal. But Green is a little bit different. We are the only district that has gone to a combined one-bell schedule, so we've already made some compromises with both high school and elementary schedules, where the high school now comes later than they used to, and they dismiss later than they used to, and elementary comes marginally earlier and dismisses marginally earlier than they used to. So we've already condensed that down. We've already built in a little bit of a delay in the morning by having our first group get here at 8 o'clock in the morning, which is our high school, as opposed to 7:10, which is what they used to be. So we don't need to do a full 2-hour delay in order to get kiddos here to start instruction at the time that we used to previously. So when we do a delay in the morning, instead of just calling a standard 2-hour delay, which is what really everybody else around us is probably going to continue to do, that would not put us here until 10 o'clock in the morning, and that's too late. So what we're going to do is look at our high school delays in the morning. We're going to get here at 9:30, so it's kind of like an hour and a half delay. But what's going to go out most likely in social media is going to be late arrival with the specific time of 9:30 for the high school, and then the elementary, because we do have that little 10-minute transition time to get to and from each building, elementary will be 9:40 in the morning. And now vice versa in the afternoon. Now, if we need to get kiddos home, we're just going to get them home. We're not going to worry about it too much. But if we're going to get kiddos home just because we want to act in an abundance of caution and go ahead and schedule an early dismissal, maybe we know a storm is coming and we're not really sure about the timing, we might go ahead and get out a little bit early. For those kind of early dismissals, we're looking at the high school being at 1 o'clock and the elementary being at 1:10. And so, once again, where we have already gone to sort of this compromised, condensed schedule, we've already narrowed down a lot of that necessary time in the mornings and the afternoon. And one thing I will say too, I hope that parents who have those morning kind of traditional hours, not everybody works on weekdays and not everybody works traditional business hours, but if you do have kind of that typical morning schedule and you have an elementary kiddo, you know that in the past, if we were operating on a 2-hour delay, that put kids getting here at 10:30 in the morning. And that was tough on elementary parents. I mean, you guys have been amazing with our schedule issues that have come up in the past and certainly this year as well. But that was one thing that I heard every once in a while, that a 2-hour delay is really tough on working parents, because if you have to stay home with your elementary kiddo to get them on the bus, that puts you pretty late getting to work. I mean, you may not get to work until 11 o'clock or so in the morning. And with this, I'm hopeful that this can help alleviate some of that. So once again, delays in the morning are going to be tempered a little bit because, again, high school's already getting here later than they used to, so we don't have to worry about that extra time. High school for a morning delay will be 9:30 with elementary at 9:40, that 10-minute transition differential. And then for early dismissals, if again, it's just kind of an abundance of caution, we're going to look at high school at 1, elementary at 1:10. But once again, if we are in the afternoon and we see that we just need to get kids out of here, we're not going to worry about those standard times. We're just going to get them home if we need to. But when we have just kind of that just in case early dismissal, we'll follow this schedule. So I hope that makes sense to you. We don't need to follow the same traditional 2-hour early dismissal or 2-hour delay because we've already started coming later in the morning. We've already built in a little bit of that to keep our high schoolers in bed just a little bit longer to get a little extra sleep. But still with this, we can hopefully get kids here in a responsible time and let parents get to work if they need to as well in a decent time. Okay, thanks everybody. I'm going to stop this now and then we'll go on next to transportation. Okay, Bobcats, for our next section, I have us down here with transportation. I, of course, have our mascot here, and I have some notes that go along with this section. I'm breaking up transportation into 2 parts, so this is part 1 of the transportation updates. Now, I have to tell you, today I've already said it's January 9th, 2023, and this is a Monday. This week's going to be a little tough with transportation. We have a couple of people who need to be off all week, and then of course we have just those regular seasonal sicknesses that pop up and can get any of us at any time. And so we are going to be kind of jigsaw puzzling this week together, but I think that we're on kind of the tail end of some of that. And as always, I want to thank you for your patience and support during some tough times when we're looking at staff shortages. But for this portion of the transportation update, I want to bring you up to date on some new personnel that are coming on board to help with transportation. They're not, well, one of them is, I'll tell you, Brian Collier's already ready to be a sub right now, but the other folks on here are finishing up some training and should be available by mid-February to be able to get on those buses and help get us on regular schedules all the time. But let me go through some of our folks. We have a new driver that we've hired. Her name is Angie Malke, and Angie's going to be taking over for Miss Frida Otworth. I want to, of course, if Frida's out there watching, I want to welcome or wish her the best health and happiness in her retirement. She served the district for a long time and certainly want to give her a shout out. But we have hired Angie Malke to be our full-time driver. She is finishing up her trainings and should be ready to hit the road in the middle of February. You may see her around now. She's already here and she's riding with drivers to get to know all of the routes, to get to know all the stops, so that when it's time to hand her the keys, she's ready to go and knows everybody and knows all the stops already. But we want to welcome Angie as our new driver. Now, additionally, we do have some new substitutes too that are coming on board, and boy, this has been a tough one. So I'm so grateful to these folks for getting their sub licenses and being here to help us out. First of all is Brian Collier. Now, Brian has a little star by his name because he's already completed all of his trainings and he's ready to be a sub now. So you may see him helping out Ross Bradley, who's been filling in as a sub already. I don't want to make this too lengthy because I know I can talk a lot, but I do want to send a shout out too to Ross Bradley. Ross is our bus mechanic, and as a part of that position, he does keep his driving license, his CDL for buses, so that he can help out with substitute driving as necessary. And I just want to thank him because every time he has driven in the afternoon, he's been working over. By the time he gets to that afternoon route, he's already put in his 8 hours every single day. And so he has really been just a great critical resource for us to be able to get kiddos home in the best way that we can. And I thank him and want to make sure that you guys are aware too. I know sometimes you guys just don't know all the inner workings because that's just not what we put out there. But Ross has really stepped up and done a great job filling in addition to being a great bus mechanic who has had wonderful reviews when we've had the state patrol come in and do inspections. We've passed with flying colors, knock on wood. But that's really a big testament to him and to the drivers for working together to make sure they communicate any issues and take care of things. And they are a good team over there, so I certainly appreciate them. But back to this, I can be a talker. Brian is already able to sub right now, and then we have 2 new folks. We have Corey Hammonds, who's our new evening Auxiliary maintenance, he's on that staff. He's getting his driving license so that he can help as a sub. And then we have Mr. Salyers, who you all probably know is one of our high school social studies teachers, and he is getting his sub license as well. So those folks, Mr. Salyers and Mr. Corey, and then our new driver, Angie Malky, should all have their driving requirements finished by mid-February. And if we can just hang in there a little bit longer, that should get everything secured up as far as personnel, and we can hopefully pack away our emergency transportation plan, kind of backup plan for a while. Knock on wood, as soon as I say something happens. But we are hopeful and of course appreciate you all for your patience during this time. Okay, thanks. I'm going to stop this one, everybody, and then when I come back, I'll go back to part 2 of transportation with that update. Bobcats, I'm back with part 2 of transportation, and in this section I'm going to talk about personnel. I have our notes over here. I just talked about some new folks that are coming on board, and particularly Angie Malky with being our full-time driver, and that will in the near future shift things around just a little bit. Now for right now, and I may repeat this several times, but for right now, as of January 9th, 2023, until further notice, we're going to remain on our current assignments with bus drivers. Everyone will continue in their assignments that they're doing already. Now at some point, most likely when Angie finishes up her training and becomes a full-time driver, but I'll give you some more information when that goes into place. But when that happens, we're going to do a slight shift. So let me go over here and talk about it. I'm going to review everyone's bus numbers too, so that when I do transportation updates and we have somebody covering for somebody, I can maybe just refer to bus numbers and not have to put names in there too. So let me go back over that again. Right now we have Mike Fitch driving bus 20. So anytime I refer to bus 20, it's Mike Fitch. I have a little asterisk here though, because we do have a new bus coming, and it will be Mike's turn in the rotation to get the new bus that comes in. Thankfully, we were able to get a grant that takes about half of the cost of a bus off. So buses are now over $100,000 a piece, so we were able to get one for about half off, and we took advantage of that with that grant program that was out there. So because of the rotation, Mike will get the next bus, and when we number it, it'll most likely be number 27, just following pattern. We'll let you know, but right now he's on bus 20. And he will keep his same route even after we have new personnel on board. Next, we have Cindy Crum driving bus 21. Her route will not change. She will keep her same students even when we go through the next staffing piece. Sherry Ratliff is bus 22. Again, she's keeping her same route. Now, this is where we have a little bit of a change. We have Angie Malky, and then skipping down to Lisa Pazzulli. I have those names kind of boxed off here. When Angie Malky comes on board driving, she's going to take over the CTC route. So Angie is going to be driving our students who attend the Scioto County Career Technical Center. She's going to be driving them to and from. Same schedule that we're using now. You'll just have a new driver, and that's going to be Miss Angie. Now, her bus number is still kind of up in the air too. Lisa Pazzulli used to drive, or is currently driving as of now, bus 23. We are going to take a look at all the things that we do with mileage and wear and tear and all of those things. And most likely she'll be driving bus 23, but I'll get that out to you, of course, when we officially make that change. Lisa Dalton is next here, kind of in between. And Lisa drives bus 24. There is no change to her route or her schedule. Lisa Pazzulli, as I mentioned before, Lisa is going to come off of the CTC route here in the near future, and she's going to take over what used to be Frida Otworth's new route this year. She's going to be driving bus 25, and she will take over that route that runs typically the Haverhill back road kind of loop here. So she'll be taking over that one once we make this change. Again, I keep repeating myself. That is coming in the near future, but right now we're still on business as usual from the beginning of the year. And then finally we have bus 26, which is Tommy Jacques. No change to Tommy's route either. Just in summary, I have everyone's bus numbers here with the exception of Angie Malky, and her bus number will be validated or verified here as soon as we have gone through some of that internal research that we do. Mike Fitch, bus 20, Cindy Crum, 21, Sherry Ratliff, 22, no changes to their routes. They'll be the same as they've been all year. Angie Malky will be taking over the CTC route when she gets on board. Lisa Dalton, bus 24, keeping her same route. Lisa Pizzulli is coming off of the CTC route and will be taking Frida's old route, which runs Haverhill and Back Road, that loop. And Tommy Jacques is keeping his same route as well on bus 26. When our new bus comes in and we get that assigned to Mike Fitch, we will of course let you know so that you'll be aware of that bus number change. But otherwise, that's what we have right now for personnel. And if I do have to enact the emergency transportation plan and I only refer to a bus number, you'll see where those are. But again, as of right now, until further notice, it's the same as it's been all year. This is just what's coming, and you can be prepared for it. Thanks, everybody. When I come back, I'll go down to some more information about discounted tickets. Thanks. Okay, Bobcats, I'm back with the next section of our fireside chat to talk about ticket discounts, and I put some notes over here on the side. As you may know, we started this on this past Friday, but we've added just a nice bonus here, a little discount for people that we appreciate very much, and that's our senior citizens who are 65 years or older and our veterans and active military. We're going to offer a discount there. Our per game discount takes it from $5 per ticket down to $3 per ticket. You do need to have identification with you for that. But once again, senior citizens 65 and older or veterans and active military, we have a discount price of $3 at the gate. Thank you to everyone for your service and your dedication to our country and communities. Now, I do have also down here an annual pass option. Now, for senior citizens, you have to be a graduate of Green Local to qualify for the annual pass, but you need to be 65 or older and a Bobcat grad, and you can qualify for an annual pass for $25 that gets you in every junior high or high school game or event for the entire year. Now, because this is coming out and just kind of getting a little more widely announced right now, we are going to do a one-time only discount this year because this is really getting out to mass audiences after January. So for this year only, we're going to offer that at half price for the remainder of this school year, and that's $12.50 for every junior high or high school game, again, for senior citizens who are 65 years or older and graduated from Green, or veterans and active military. You can get that pass for $12.50 to take you through the rest of the school year. This is an annual pass, so this needs to be redone every year if you'd like to continue getting those discounted tickets. And then at the beginning of the year, starting next year, and then for the entire year, it'll be $25. Now, if you're going to do the season pass, you need to get a hold of us here at the board office. That number is 740-354-9221. I probably should have written that up there. For the annual pass, you have to go through the board office. For those discount tickets at the gate, here you go. That's what we've got. Now, what I'm also going to do is when I put out this fireside chat, I'm also going to put out this sheet. I know you can't read it from here, but you'll just kind of get an overview, which has all of the breakdowns of our ticketing for the year. Now, we used to offer a Golden Bobcat card. If you already have a Golden Bobcat card, you are still golden. You can still use that for every event to get in for free. But we've had to stop that piece and pick up this annual pass, which is what I just described over here, for senior citizens who are 65 or older and graduates of the school or veterans and active military. You can qualify for that annual pass, which is typically $25, but because I'm just putting this out now and we're kind of getting some of those things together, we are going to offer it this year only, starting now for $12.50 for the second half of the year. We also have a description on here. I had some questions about same-day events. For example, if there's, particularly in the fall, maybe if you have a kiddo who's playing volleyball in the gym and someone who's playing junior high football out on the stadium, do I have to pay for both events? No, just keep your ticket. You're going to pay at the first one you go to. Keep your ticket, and you can just get into the other event back and forth. And with spring events coming up, we know that we can have baseball, softball, even track, because we're going to have track this year. You could have any of those things going on at the same time, so you could pay for your first event and then walk back and forth to the other ones with those tickets, and you'll be fine. If you have a child who is 3 years old or younger, they are free. We don't make kiddos who are 3 and under pay. And then for our current students, I've had some questions about current students getting in free. We do have special events sometimes where we would offer that, but typically both buildings offer a lot of incentive packages for kids to get in for free, whether it be PBIS awards or student of the month or some different things like that. There's a lot of different opportunities for kids to get free passes, and so we have that option on there. I know I went over that very quickly. I'm going to publish this online with this information as well, so that you can be updated on discount tickets. We want to, of course, we have to keep our athletic program up and running, and the gate tickets help with that a lot. The prices of officials and different things, insurance and everything else has all gone up, so we do have to keep that revenue coming in, but we do want to offer some discounts where we can, and we certainly want to offer those to our veterans and active military and our senior citizens. Thank you very much, everybody, and when I come back, I'll talk about Remind Text updates. Thanks. Bobcats, I'm back with the final update for today, and that is Remind Text updates. I had a recent tragedy with my phone. I can't speak of it. It's too upsetting, but I had to get a new phone, and when I did, I lost a lot of content, and so I had to boot my Remind Text, and I have to add everybody back in again. So I'm giving you this information on how to add yourselves to one of the text messages that goes out. Now, text messages, if you already have been receiving them, you already know what they're all about. But if you're new to Remind, it is like a push notification text message that goes out, and it can be updates on anything from delays, transportation updates, early dismissals. It can be a shout out to some kiddos or groups who have accomplished something wonderful. Just a variety of different messages about the Greene Local School District. It's been very widely used, and actually before my phone had its drama, I had over 500 people who were signed up for one or another of those groups to get updated messages, and that number has dropped significantly. I think I only have about 100 people who have re-added themselves to it. So I want to give you information in case you're interested in getting those updates. Again, I have Remind Text updates. One thing you can do is just simply call the board office. You can call 740-354-9221 and tell Miss Vicki that you'd like for me to add you to the text messaging service. You will need to give her your name and your mobile number. This only works with cell phones. I can't obviously text a home landline, so it has to be a mobile number. But you can call Miss Vicki and just ask her to tell me to add you. I know this is kind of a torment for you guys who had already signed up, so I'm happy to go ahead and do that for you. Now, if you're watching and you are willing to just go ahead and add yourself, you have three options here. I have these over here, and again, I am going to put them out on social media so that you don't have to rely just on this, but you can also see it in print. The problem is I can't text this out to anybody right now if you haven't been added already, so I have to rely on social media and these kind of things. So you can also add yourself by sending a text to 81010. That's where you would type in your contact or the phone number, 81010. And then in the body of the text message, you can text any one of these three addresses. I've got at G8CK8K. All the letters in here are lowercase. Or you can text to that same number and enter at 8988C2, or same thing, text to this number at FK6B8H. I'll just leave these up here right now kind of behind me. I'll lean back out so you can see them. If you're watching and you want to jot one of these down, you can have a minute while I'm just sitting here to put those numbers down. But again, this is a great option for people who just want to get those real-time updates about whatever's going on in the district, particularly early dismissals, delays in the morning, transportation changes, those things that are pretty critical to your personal schedules as well. But also we like to send out some shout-outs to the people who have met a milestone or achieved something special. We like to always recognize those as well. So I hope that gave you enough time to grab a pen and paper and write down any one of these if you want to. Or, of course, like I said, you can call Miss Vicki here at the board office by calling this number, 740-354-9221, and just giving her your name and mobile number, and I'll be glad to add you myself. Okay, everybody, we've gone through the entire fireside chat agenda here, so I hope you've been able to get some information and things that are pertinent to you and your schedule. And as always, you're welcome to call me here at the board office at this same number and get some clarification. And as I close out, as always, go Bobcats!